Hi, I'm Carol, here to share with you the Population Education Lesson Plan, World of Difference, a middle school lesson plan focusing on biodiversity. Tropical forests are some of the most biodiverse places on the planet. Many are located in areas that are experiencing high population growth rates. In World of Difference, students work in small groups and first use probabilities to compare and contrast biodiversity in a temperate forest with a tropical forest. Then, students will assess how human population growth impacts temperate and tropical forests differently. Science and math are strongly at play in this lesson, but there is a bit of social studies, geography really, as well. For the activity, each small group of students will need a copy of the student worksheet, the provided forest counting grid, a dice, and 2 baggies of beans or colorful beads, one representing the temperate forest and the other the tropical forest. We give you instructions for preparing these baggies right in the lesson plan. Each different color bead represents a different species, and each individual bead itself represents one individual of that species. Let's begin. The first thing your students will do is set up their 2 forests, as instructed on the student worksheet. I already went ahead and set up my forest using the outlined parameters. Well, almost, but now it's done. Part 1 of the worksheet has students look at the biodiversity of each forest. In the temperate forest, the acres are all similar. They all have 2 species. But in the tropical forest, there's more variation between the acres, and some acres may have up to 7 species, while there are some species that only reside in one particular acre, like the purple bead that represents the gorilla, or the yellow beads that represent the butterflies. Now the worksheet challenges students to determine the probability that the population of each species in each forest would change if you cleared an acre. For example, in the temperate forest with the red bead, the oak trees, there is a 6 out of 6 chance that the population would change if an acre was cleared, because oak trees are in every acre. No matter which of the 6 acres you clear, the population is impacted. In the tropical forest, let's look at the green bead, the forest green snake. The snake is in 4 of the 6 acres, so there is a 4 out of 6, or 2 out of 3, chance that the population of snakes would change if a random acre was cleared. But this was just thinking about a population changing. Now think about extinction. What is the probability that any species will become extinct if 1 acre of temperate forest is cleared? Well, it's 0 out of 6, because every species is in every acre. But what is the probability that any species will become extinct if 1 acre of tropical forest is cleared? There is a 2 out of 6 chance. There are 2 acres with unique species, the purple bead representing the gorilla, and again those yellow beads representing the butterflies. So if either of those acres were cleared, those species would be totally gone. They would be extinct. Now students are going to bring population into their exploration of biodiversity using a dice. As you might remember from the beginning of this video, tropical forests are located in some of the areas on the Earth that are experiencing the highest rates of population growth. Uganda, in Central Africa, has tropical forests and a population growth rate of 3.3%. The United States, which contains temperate forests, has a population growth rate of 0.8%. This means Uganda's growth rate is about 4 times as fast as that of the United States. So students will roll a die, and if they roll a 1, they clear an acre of temperate forest. But if they roll a 2, 3, 4, or 5, they clear an acre of tropical forest. If they roll a 6, it doesn't count towards either forest or count as a roll, and they should simply roll again. So let's try it out and see what happens. The first thing we'll do is roll the die, and we rolled a 2, which means that we clear 1 acre of tropical forest. So we'll roll the die again, and I rolled a 4, which again means we clear an acre of tropical forest. And we continue rolling. I rolled another 2, we clear another acre of tropical forest. Keep in mind, it's only if you roll a 1 that your students would clear an acre of temperate forest. And if they roll a 6, they simply re-roll and start again. We provide questions to help you lead a discussion with students about temperate and tropical forest biodiversity and what happened in their individual simulations, but also about the larger meaning of forest loss and ultimately biodiversity loss. In the end, human activity impacted both forests. They both lost individuals. But it was only in the tropical forest that some species were rare to begin with, so the cutting had a more significant impact on biodiversity. If you're teaching in an NGSS state, you might also challenge the students to evaluate this simulation as a model and consider in what ways it served as a strong model and in what ways it was limited. So this lesson is World of Difference and is written, again, for middle school grades. If you're interested in this lesson, but teaching grades 4 or 5, I'd recommend you check out our lesson, World of Difference, Madagascar. It's a similar setup, but there are fewer species, simplified probabilities, and it's more aligned with elementary content and skill levels. And that's all, folks. For more wonderful lessons from population education, please visit us online at populationeducation.org.